Caution, disclaimer. This video is created for educational and entertainment purposes only. It reflects my personal thoughts, questions, and independent research, and is intended to foster a film community and encourage discussion. This content is not meant to offend, slander, or present complete or definitive truths. Please do not attempt to replace anything shown or discussed on this program. Film Tricks and Politics podcast and its affiliates are not responsible for any mishaps, misunderstandings, or misinterpretations. All opinions expressed by a guest are their own and do not reflect the views of BLKJAGtv, its content, or the Film Tricks and Politics podcast. Enjoy the show, engage respectfully, and be entertained.
Danny got the size, huh?
So, hey, film tricks and politics. Film tricks and politics. Take 4, huh? We still here. Yeah, that's what's up. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for joining us tonight. Or, if you're catching this later, thank you for joining us when you got here. Today or tonight or whatever, we're going to have a really good talk. I think this talk is much needed. I think it's really needed, especially in our industry of film. We're going to talk about it from that aspect, which is called prep work. Prep work. That's what we're going to be talking about. My name is Kane King. I'm the Filmmakers filmmaker. If you haven't heard, now you heard. I just want to come at it in a practical way. I'm not going to get in too much into the weeds. Of course, you always know that I'm a visual learner, so I understand I'm going to try to get something for my visual learners out there. So I'll probably post up a video at some point kind of highlighting some of the things that I'm talking about. So the reason why I think prep is really important, because it's something that really can go across the board. When I say across the board, that's with project management, that's with managerial, operational kind of things, that's with getting in group work when you're in high school, middle school, if you're doing a group project. All of these type of skill sets and tools are going to help you along the way, be it that you want to go into film, be it that you want to make film. And this goes right along with those guys who are self-taught, because I don't want this to feel like you have to have gone to film school. That's why we're here. We're here because you're not going to go to film school. You're not going to go waste that $108,000 on something that you already know how to do, something that you can go to YouTube University. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that you're able to do. But right here is that I know that some people say you can't learn everything on YouTube because you need to tangibly do it. But this is giving you that energy to get over that hump, to go execute, meaning go get it done, go do the plan, go make it happen, go get the shot. So back to what we're talking about, prep work. Prep work, like I said, is for everybody. This show is for the entrepreneurial. You want to make sure that you strategize the plan of action of what you're going to do to be successful, to go from conception to completion and then beyond. I've had like a little mini series that I was trying to do with that concept, but it is a real concept, because the beyond, when you say it before you start and you say it in the preparation stages, the beyond, that helps you stay on course. You see how long I waited to say something else? Because I want you to already understand patience. You got to stay on course. In order to stay on course is to know where your product is going. And you notice how I use the word product. That's my way of distancing myself from the emotional side of being the creator of whatever it is that I created. If I keep saying my movie, my series, my this, that's what it becomes, because words that we speak are powerful. The things that we think are powerful. Everything that's ever made was thought of first. So I try to distance myself from the product so that way I can see how I'm gonna distribute it and disperse it. Most of the times when we're doing these movies, it takes money to make the movie. So we're expected to make the money back. The way I was taught, you want to make 3 times the amount of whatever you put in to make whatever you put in to make the movie. So if you got $8,000 to make the movie, you want to get 3 times that amount back. So if that's 24, then you want to get that back. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's in order for you to be able to pay yourself, pay the investor, and also have a little bit more to invest to do the next project. That's just simple math. It's a little bit more complex than that. You can get with your CPAs. You can get with your aggregators and your entertainment attorneys. They can give you a class about it, and they can give you a ticket and a charge and all those kind of things. But right here, I'm just kind of telling you really what it is in order to be prepared on whatever project you're trying to do. So with film, we break it down with like phases. We got phases that we do. So we typically have like 3 phases that we work on. And those 3 phases are gonna like basically be production, pre-production, production, post. And then I try to add in marketing into it, because the marketing, that's the part where you have the beyond. When I was saying, once you know where that is, that keeps you on focus, because that beyond is like, I want this to be on Tubi. I want this to be streaming. I just want to put this in movie theaters. I think we're going to make this one for festivals, certain type of festivals. We're going to do short films. So you kind of get an idea where it's going to go. That way you kind of know exactly what you need to film and how you need to film it. Now, like I say a lot of times, filming is like the Wild Wild West. There's so many different ways. So as we're talking about this right now, I'm just telling you about one way of getting this done. There's so many different ways of getting this done and doing what it is, what you call making movies, which is one of, I think I was looking for a link for a hot topic to this to kind of relate it to anything, but the hottest thing that's been going on right now is like Faison, kind of bringing up who he feels is a filmmaker, and he has a valid opinion. He's in movies. So he was just saying, Tyler Perry is a filmmaker. Issa Rae, filmmaker. I agree. He was saying 50 Cent is not a filmmaker. I don't agree. Most of the executives that are on these with Warner Brothers, Netflix, most of these guys, they're business people. They didn't typically have to go to film school. They didn't typically have to know about film or story structure or how a cast gets casted. As long as they know how to do an expense report or understand whatever parameters that board or chair needs to have happen, that's what it is. But we on the outside out here, we think everybody in there is just in this la Hollywood land. No, 50 Cent is just taking another route. He's taking a route which he's paved his way from being a hip hop pop artist, rap artist, to a movie actor, to a movie star, to we saw the sacrifices he did, man, to lose all that weight to be in the movie. What was that? Get rich or die trying, or what was that?
I don't know what it was.
But
he did it. Ain't nobody see it. But hey, respect to him for doing it.
Man, respects for him doing that. So, and now to see him behind the scenes with the stars and in front of the camera with the stars as a character, and these are his intellectual properties. These are ideas and things that he had input on. He may be one of 11 or 6 producers or executive producers on the project, but most of these big projects gets dealing with millions of dollars. There's going to be a lot of executive producers. There's a lot of checks and balances, a lot of people involved when you're dealing with that kind of money. But to have a person coming from where 50 Cent come from to be in those rooms, dude, that's one way. Okay, let's not mess that up. Let's not tear somebody down. Let's not do that. You know, there's plenty of other things to tear 50 down for. There's plenty of other things, and I'm not here to want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Put the sound. Oh, angry man gonna kick my ass. He was like, you done took my sound.
Yeah, man. See, I can murder on the plane.
Yeah, but so you know, let me get back on topic. Prepping. So knowing what, like we established, you know what you want to know where your product's gonna go, so you know what you need, how to need to film it. Now with prep, all of that happens in that time. It's very important, and I know a lot of indie filmmakers are like rolling their eyes, like, oh my God, we're never gonna get to the filming. Man, we just wake up, turn the camera on, and we gone. We gonna film. We tell homeboy, call him up 2 hours beforehand. Hey, meet me at such and such block. Make sure you got this on. Bring the heater. Bring Bring the car. Whatever. We gonna pretend like all of this stuff. And I get it. And it works. It works for what that is. And a lot of times that's kind of like more of a social media trending thing. Social media type of energy that's gonna be on there. Unless you are taking the time to understand the cinematography of your camera phone, understanding the cinematography of your run and gun camera gear, and you're doing what you got to do. But you still took a prep time. For indie, average time, 14 days. Take 14 days, which is going to be able to establish you getting how long you're going to be shooting, where you're going to be shooting at, what kind of actors, how many you're going to have, being able to get all your chain of title, which is all your paperwork, all the things like your NDAs, your talent releases, your location releases, any kind of funds or monies that was spent, anything that was signed, all the paperwork in order. So that way, you know, you have a chain of title. Because a lot of times you're going to go and try to sell or lease out, license out, or try to get a deal with a company. They're going to want to see all of this type of paperwork to make sure that everything you're giving them is authentically, you know, yours and something that can be pushed out. So the number one thing, and with bigger productions, it could be anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks. So rule of thumb, what most majors is doing is like really like 9 months, 3 months for pre-production, and then 3 months of production, 3 months of post-production, so on and so on. It doesn't mean that they have to use all that time. Doesn't mean they have to use all that time. Doesn't mean that. But again, coming up on this next important part is scheduling. And so before we get into scheduling, because it's going to tie into why I was just talking about what I was saying, we're going to check out this video that kind of breaks down like how long, you know, a shoot day is, how you break down a page. You know, when I'm looking at a script, I'm able to break that script down in order to understand like how long we're gonna be able to shoot on this page. So sometimes you'll hear directors or producers talking back and forth to each other. Hey, how long? What's your day look like? It look like we got about 3 or 4 pages. That means they're gonna try to shoot 3 to 4 pages. That means they have it all mapped out what they want to shoot. But check out this video, and we're gonna be right back with Film Tricks and Politics, and we're talking about prep work. I'm Kane King.
This stage of filmmaking. Let's start prepping.
We have work to do.
Pre-production is the planning that is required before principal photography. It occurs after a script has been finalized and the project has been greenlit or financing has been secured. The pre-production process typically begins with the producers and director of a film. But it quickly grows to incorporate a large team, with each person involved overseeing a different aspect of preparation for the shoot.
The pre-production process, you cast a very broad net. You're trying to capture all the information you can, distribute all the information that you can, and you're honing that down to a very fine point, aiming towards your shooting day. So once you get to that shooting day, you already essentially have walked through that day, or you've shot that day. You're driving everything to the detail of that particular shooting day.
Pre-production can look vastly different depending on the nature of a shoot. For a massive blockbuster, the stage can take several months, while for an indie film, pre-production may be no more than a few weeks.
I would say if you were doing a very straightforward romantic comedy, a drama, the typical prep period for a first AD would be about 8 weeks. But if you're doing something much more elaborate, like Blade Runner 2049, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, I believe my prep period on those pictures were somewhere between 6
Lit. But pre-production is when they get into the details. This requires analyzing the script and forecasting how much money will be needed and where. Typically, the producer starts a production office for the film. The office will handle the administrative work required throughout the making of the film. A limited liability company, or LLC, may also be created